better than the best come. But still nobody better than you. You sense you are with venom until thy kingdom come. Eternally, let me show you where I come from. Yeah, with candlelight and body action. How we could hold our meditation and we don't meditate alone. We meditate deep like a badami. You make us a little further.
Hi, Indigenous crew.
Gang, gang.
This one we coming live from a market in the Lion Civic Center. And Zola, who normally is be bothering us online, is actually here in person with me here. Well, welcome to episode number 22
Gang, gang.
of of Indigenous. This one we know is
Stay. Over there. Good night.
this
Stay a single spot.
one
You're going in and out.
is a one clear one. And then
Over there. Eh? Yeah, going in and out. Yes, you're going in and out. Yeah, we do have I know.
and
I think
the fact is we have been live. Let's get the yeah.
Yeah, you're going in and out, so you gotta find some closest steward spot or something. Ooh. I'm gonna see the camera angle, you're gonna get me there. Let's see what's going on down there. Right, so
Yeah.
yeah,
So let's jump straight into it. Let's jump straight into the show. Let's take in from his. Let's check out Selva. I will come back in. Sheldon Mendoza.
No knife, no gun, weed and rum, I miss a girl and fun, you know the vice got done. Baseline, move up your waistline, when the number one DJ come on the front line. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. Me beg you, leave home your knife and I beg you, leave home your gun. Cause I me don't wanna see me black brother blood runner. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You put a smoke some herb, drink a magnum, look at how much sexy girl got all around. So when you come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You come fi all up on a girl and dance till morning. Come you come fi put down the knife, you come fi put down the gun, you come fi burn up a split, you come fi drink all the rum. And when the drummer play and when the guitar start strum, you begging for more reggae and then some. You come fi sing along to some still a morning come, and you not going home until the dance done. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. Me beg you, leave home your knife and I beg you, leave home your gun. Cause I me don't wanna see me black brother blood runner. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You put a smoke some herb, drink a magnum, look at how much sexy girl got all around. Friday, people had to run. Saturday night, early the dance done. I'm missing nowadays, I every man I think ignorant. Up on the dance floor, man I keep them distance. For the peace and love me a chant. Anytime when me come in at the dance, peace and love we a chant. All of the music with the people them want. Where they want? You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. Me beg you, leave home your knife and I beg you, leave home your gun. Cause I me don't wanna see me black brother blood runner. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You come a dance all, you come fi have fun. You put a smoke some herb, drink a magnum, look at how much sexy girl got all around. Nobody stop me fight, no all sexy girl gather all around.
Woi, woi, woi. Yeah, boy.
That's all.
Yeah, man, Sheldon. Get on. Sheldon from the Starship Enterprise. That crew and stuff continue to do it. And Sheldon from his album, Dreaming. Next track, run the next track from Sheldon Mendoza there. Big up Sheldon Mendoza. Big up all the guys from down that side. Right? All them fellas and stuff who switching it from the gangster to the positive. We bigging up them men all the time and big up those guys right through. Sheldon Mendoza, big up yourself. Next release from the album, Dreaming, Sheldon Mendoza. Run the track, Kachi.
Red hot, hotter than chili peppers.
Kevin David
Oh, yeah.
and Sheldon Mendoza.
Only Jah we need to survive. Only His love would keep us alive. Only Jah we need to survive. Yeah, only His love should never be denied. Use them are the future. Give the youth what they need to survive. No brainwash education, that trash won't keep us alive. A knowledge of the Father, it should never be denied. My people perish for a lack of knowledge, and you know that's not a lie.
But Jah love is all you really need to survive. Cause His love is the only thing could keep you alive. So hold the faith and trust and wait and He will provide. You gotta believe deep down inside. And if you wanna make it through the valley, you know you gotta see the past years even before you go. And everything you ask will be given unto you. You're gonna reap whatever you sow.
Tell me who's going to deliver us, deliver us, deliver us, Father. Tell me who's going to deliver us from this world. Tell me who's going to deliver us, Father. Tell me who's going to deliver us from this world. Only Jah love we need to survive. Only His love would keep us alive. Only Jah love we need to survive. Yeah, only His love should never be denied. Times are getting harder as we journey on our way. We all need to take stock of the things we do and say. The judgment and the harvest are not so far away. The message that we bring to you is that we should all kneel and pray.
But Jah love is all you really need to survive. Cause His love is the only thing could keep you alive. So hold the faith and trust and wait and He will provide. You gotta believe deep down inside. So even though you walk through the shadow of death, you shouldn't fear no evil cause it is not a threat. When Jah got your back cause He is going to protect. So tell the devil if not ready yet.
Tell me who's going to deliver us, Father. Tell me who's going to deliver us from this world. Tell me who's going to deliver us, Father. Tell me who's going to deliver us from this world.
Who's gonna deliver us? The time is upon us. In God we trust. Freedom is a must.
Big up yourself, big up yourself, big up yourself. And you know, we always big up Sheldon and what he's doing down that way. I mean, you know, that's real community work, empowerment of young people, empowerment of men, and that kind of stuff. That's the real work and stuff. Continue to being done by Sheldon Mendoza, bring him up all the time. We know this particular program right through is just debuts, all new music, 17 new tracks, one after the other. This next track is by Gary Hector from the Grammy listed album, National Trash. Americana, two nominations in the Americana section, and this song is called Mercy Me. This is one of the baddest rock and roll musicians in the Caribbean has ever produced, Gary Hector. Mercy Me. Run the track.
When was the last time you stopped for a minute, gathered your thoughts, and I was in it? When was the last time you cried? And when was the first time you stood up and took notice of your dreams last night? Was I in it? When was the last time you cried? Every day passes by. Ain't no use to even try. Mercy me, oh, mercy my. The day I don't laugh is the day I surely cry. And when was the last time you watched the news and after 1 minute realized you're being used? When was the last time you cried? And when was the last time the radio played a song that kept you singing all night long? When was the last time you cried? Every day passes by. Ain't no use to even try. Mercy me, oh, mercy my. The day I don't laugh is the day I surely cry. Mercy me, mercy my. Mercy me, mercy. Mercy me, oh, mercy my. The day I don't laugh is the day I surely cry. Oh, the day I don't laugh is the day I surely cry. The day I don't laugh is the day I surely cry.
Yeah, man. Yeah, there's Kaiso, country Americana style. Gary Hector there, Mercy Me. And of course, we said we have four brilliant interviews this week. And Pachi, man in the studio already?
Not yet.
Yeah?
You, he just about a minute away before he come in the studio.
1 minute away?
Yeah,
All right, okay, no problem. We're talking about Nigel, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we going to be inside. We know that big band Orange Sky just has released their new album, Strange Days. Brilliant album. I think is an album that's making an international statement in terms of rock and roll internationally. I think that the playing on this album, Dax Carter especially, has establishing himself as one of the great rock and roll guitarists of all time. Of all time, I think that he is putting his mark there as the person who is going to inherit the mantle from Stevie Vai, Rayvon, Eddie Van Halen, down board of playing and that kind of stuff. As you know, this Trinidadian boy is doing it. And the backdrop of all that is the brilliant music of Nigel Rojas and the Orange Sky. This incarnation with Nicholas Rojas and Dion on bass and Dion Camacho on drums. Rojas and crew doing it and stuff. This is 25 years of Orange Sky, and they continue to blaze a trail. We just heard Gary Hector, formerly of Joint Pop and Orange Joint Pop and Oddfellows Local. Them and Orange Sky, formerly Orange Field Groove, formerly Zandali, are the two great rock bands of Trinidad and Tobago. And both of them are doing incredible music right now. Nigel inside?
Yeah, I see him there. Let me get him on. Uh
Boy!
oh, your
Yeah, man,
mic.
Nigel, what you saying?
Unmute your mic. Roa. Good night. Unmute your mic, sir. Yeah, mute. Yeah, yeah. Nigel, your microphone still mute. I can't. You gotta unmute yourself.
How about
Yes.
now? You hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Loud
we
and
can,
loud and clear.
All right,
Hi,
good.
man, Nigel. Welcome, 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 inside. And, how do you feel now that you have dropped this album? I know there's a labor of love. I know that this is an album where you're all like really paying homage to your influences as musicians, as rock musicians, and that kind of stuff. Each one of you all, and you as a songwriter, really going after it like that. And I'm saying that you nail it. That the songs and stuff, you nail it. From
Thank
the
you.
playing to the production, everything, you all nail it as musicians in this album. So
Thank you, brother.
talk to me about the evolution of Strange Days, where it came from, and you know how it came about, and that kind of stuff.
Well, Strange Days sort of kicked off in a way where we exchanged drummers, you know. So Dion joined back the band. Dion was in the band about 20 years ago, and he
Right.
joined back the band last year, September. When that happened, Anthony went on to pursue some production projects and all that. So Dion came on board, but Dion is also a producer. So he invited us to record at his studio. And we had all the new material. I had written all the songs and everything, and we had everything ready. So it was just a matter of starting to record music, and we recorded for the whole year. So
1 year in the
finally,
studio.
yeah, because I mean it's COVID times, so we weren't really pushing a special timeline or anything. We just wanted to get it done as best as we could, the best possible album we could do, and that's what we did.
All right. So, but I mean, these are a very specific set of songs. That these songs come from a particular place. They're kind of different than what you were doing before, in the sense of they're very, very much in the sense of paying homage, but also they're very topical in another way. They, at the same
It's
time,
about these times. The song's about what we're going through in these times, basically. The album is called Strange Days, and it's pretty much all about these times, this sci-fi movie that we're living in right now, you know what I mean? And touching on all the topics of nature and life that we what we're experiencing right now. So the backdrop, of course, for something like that had to be heavy and dramatic. And of course, this is the perfect time for the four of us as a bare knuckle 4-piece rock band, traditional drums, bass, 2 guitars and vocals, to do the best album we possibly could. And that's what we did. We did a rock and roll album. So we paid homage to all our heroes, all our rock heroes, all the guys from Iron Maiden and ACDC, Motorhead, all the early people that influenced us to play this kind of music and to pick up the guitar and to want to rock out. You know what I mean? So a lot of our influencers and our masters have also passed on in the last couple of years. You know what I mean? So we also pay homage to Ronnie James Dio, Let Me Kill Mr. Malcolm Young of ACDC, David Bowie, and a lot of others, Scott Whelan, and a whole bunch of others as well too. You know what I mean? So this album is a tribute to those people and to the roots of the people that influenced our rock. It's our rock album. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's the thing is you hear the influences kind of really strong, but at the same time, it's very very original takes on those things, and in a way, it's like those influences on steroids. Like it's like that type of music. So you have a stuff as a kind of California rock kind of thing, but it's like California rock on steroids. You have you have a couple Aussie nods and that kind of stuff, but it's almost like an out Aussie and Aussie. Then it's like, I mean, and part of that, of course, is the I have to say almost godlike playing of Dax Carter on this album. We always know that Dax that kind of freak of nature in terms
Yes,
of
yes.
his just in terms of his skill and speed on leads and that kind of stuff.
Absolute virtuosity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
This
now
album, that's on fire. His
yeah,
solos on this album are master. Each one's a masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece.
yeah,
He writes
yeah,
these solos, composes these solos. It's
yeah.
amazing.
The sense of composition of the solos, the melodicness, just the sense of the intelligence behind the solos is really, really, really spectacular. And I mean, part
Yeah.
of that is just your songwriting is also getting really even more sophisticated, and it is in terms of arrangement and in terms of how the narratives of the song go. I don't know if
Thank you.
part of it is, I know that you've been doing a lot of work doing cover band stuff. Cover says like you're doing gigs as a cover musician in hotels and that kind of stuff, and you're doing
As a
the
solo artist,
international
as right?
a solo
Yeah,
artist
as me alone,
doing
yeah,
the
not the band.
internationals. Yeah, you doing an international songbook of the great songs of pop music then and rock music. I've sat in a couple times, and you are nailing those things, and as a
Thank you.
guitarist and as a vocalist, and that can't be easy, as a soloist there and taking on a Beatles catalog and a Hendrix catalog and a Eagles catalog and a Marley catalog and I mean, all the catalogs and that kind of stuff. You're going after them hard. That must be like a university degree, for somebody who take those things very seriously.
Well, it's interesting that you said that because that's exactly how I refer to it. I consider myself a student of the music, particularly in this chapter of my life where in the last 8 years where I've been performing for hotels and resorts throughout the Caribbean and whatnot. I've learned the music of the people that I love. I've learned the music that I grew up loving and listening to before I could play an instrument. You know what I mean? So that's when music was magic to me. When I didn't know how to play. Because once you know how to play, the innocence is gone. When you listen to a
Right.
song, you process it differently now. You're thinking about what kind of guitar is being used, what chords are being used, what kind of mixer board, you already, what key is it in, you're already breaking it down. But when somebody doesn't play music, they still have that innocence. And music is still something mysterious and magical to them. I miss
Right.
that a lot. I miss that. So when I play those songs, they take me back to that time when music was mysterious and magical to me. It still very much is, but being a musician, we learn how to break down everything and how to, what I mean. You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah, no, definitely. Hold one sec. This is your. This? Huh? Four of these. Yeah. So okay,
Uh,
let's take in a song and let's come back and talk about it. So Klachi, hit us the first song there, and then we'll come back and stuff. Let's talk about what we just listened to. Orange Sky from the album. Yeah, man. So that was some 80s kind of Talking Heads kind of that kind of synth band kind of stuff there, but mixed with the heavy stuff, you know. That gives it a whole different kind of yeah. That's part of the disorientation, I suppose, that works for the song, you know. About the strange days is indeed strange days, you know. So
Yeah,
talk a bit
man.
about that song, you know, how it came about and that kind of stuff.
Well, the song is really called. It was supposed to be called Strange Days, but we ended up calling it Pieces, which is short for picking up the pieces, you know, because that's the line that's most repeated in the song, you know.
Yeah,
But the song is basically it's self-explanatory, you know. Tonight we're burning up the bridges because the people had enough, you know what I mean? And basically that's what it's all about, you know.
it
They
really
just
kind of
see
feels like what
the
the
vibe.
times
Yeah, the
feel
times
like.
that this song reflecting what we have to do as human beings and as people are just pick up the pieces and move on. You know what I mean? But you know, sometimes you have to express what you feel, and people protest. People, you know, they protest against oppressive tactics, and they protest against, you know, they will swim against the current of that oppression. You know what I mean? And basically, these are strange days. We're alive, but we're not living. We're running sideways in a race that we're not winning. You know what I mean? We're picking
Yeah,
up the pieces while we beg and borrow. Anxiety and uncertainty of where we'll be tomorrow. Picking up the pieces. It's
right,
pretty
Nigel.
self-explanatory.
Yeah, no, I mean, I want to talk now about where are you with music, your relationship with music right now. I'm talking about with COVID, with Trinidad, with Orange Sky, with you know all of those things. I mean, we both of us came up in music together, beating drum, beating drum on the desk in St.
Yeah,
Mary's,
yeah.
you know, and singing songs from Sticks
Disco.
and you know what I mean?
Disco Babe.
Um,
I remember you
you
and
know,
Ian
beating, you
Mitchell,
know,
Disco
and
Babe.
yeah, you know, the first band, you know, Free
Synchronicity.
Will, and I know you sent me that letter that rhymer writes to get sponsorship for the band and all kind of thing. It's little 12-year-old youths, some 12-year-old youths and stuff. You know, what I mean, but
Trying
that's
to
our
get it.
beginning. That's our
That's
beginnings
beautiful.
in
It was
music,
beautiful,
and
brother.
I mean, so much water. Yeah, it was. I mean, you know, so much, and discovering that we could write original music, and that the music that we had inside was as valid as the stuff that we was listening to. And so that is a,
Yeah.
you know, we're talking about that was about 5 years ago, about 5 6 years ago, right? About 5 6, I would say. Take 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 a couple decades, but 5 or 6 years ago that happened, and a lot of has happened since, right? Um, you know, real twists and turns. You know, you know, you created a band that evolved into one of the two top rock and roll bands in the country with a with probably the largest local following of any rock band, and yet kind of peaked what you could do in Trinidad and the Caribbean, you know, and then bam, international record contracts, international touring and that kind of stuff, and that had its thing, and then you return, and you know you dealt with that return and you wrestled with that return, and there were a lot of experiments and different things that you did. Where is Strange Days and Nigel Rojas fit into the journey of you and music right now?
Exactly where it's supposed to be. We're in that chapter right now. We're in the chapter where I just turned 50. I'm celebrating even making it this far, you know. I didn't think I'd make it to 50 ever. I did not believe it. And if this is what 50
Yeah,
feels like, well, then it feels great. I feel like I now start rocking
yeah,
out. I don't feel like I want to stop playing music. I
yeah,
don't feel like
yeah.
it's any desire to slow down or to, you know, anything else. I feel the same way I felt 10, 15, 20, 25 years ago. Thank God, knock on wood. And basically, you know, where I'm at on the
Brilliant.
journey is exactly where it's supposed to be. I kind of learned a little while ago that, you know, the book has chapters. And if you're in chapter 3, you can't be in chapter 6, even if you
Yeah,
want to be. the hands of the Almighty or the hands of time, destiny will
Exactly.
turn those pages. And if we swim against that current, you become exhausted and drown in your own ambition. So, you know what I mean? It's
Like taking an
I'm
extract
just taking it,
and then
enjoying every moment of it. I'm in love with music, bro. I'm in love with the guitar. I'm in love with playing. I'm in love with writing. I'm in love with the band performing together, just for each other in the band room. The exchange and the connection. I'm in love. I'm in love with playing music. I'm in love with my band.
yeah. It tells, it tells. Let's take in one more song from the album Strange Days, Orange Sky, and let's just get back, come out and stuff. Clutchy, hit me the next track.
Yesterday was just a one-way street. I'm picking up the pieces every time we meet. I thought you'd be the one to make my life complete. But baby, this is destiny. Nobody's gonna slow me down, and you won't even miss me around. Exist in a one-way This is your one-way Yesterday was just a one-way street. I gotta keep it moving, keep it on my feet. A pretty woman got the best of me. Baby, this is destiny. And nobody's gonna slow me down, and you won't even miss me around. Exist in a one-way Can't resist this one-way Nobody's gonna slow me down when you won't even miss me around. Can't exist in a one-way just can't resist your one-way Can't exist.
Yeah, man. Hey, Clutchy, hit with the next Orange Sky track one time now. Let me go and take in the next one, then we'll come out in the next side and talk to Nigel. Yeah, hey, Nigel, I want to tell you is that I haven't been excited about rock music in a while. You know, I mean, Radiohead, a couple other people. Every now and then somebody drops something, but I excited about that music that you're putting down there as a statement or as
Thank you, brother. Thank
a
you.
rock and roll
Thank you.
statement. And feel that
Appreciate that.
I feel that that album can make a statement internationally, and I wish that on that album, the production levels, everything, big up Brian Agostini in Australia for exceptional mixing and stuff. Big up Dion for his live recording.
Dion is the producer. Dion produced the album and Ryan mastered it. So that's the team, a really, really extraordinary team of young, brilliant gentlemen.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, and everybody get on playing, everybody get on, everybody get on. I think is a statement album, a rock and roll statement album for 2020, for this millennium. And I whatever you need to do, and whatever we could do to position that album in that place, we will do, and we wish that, because I think that it really is a statement, it's a statement, and so I wish you all the best with it. Let's not let this be the first and last time inside here. We have plenty things to talk about, you know.
Yes,
Um,
I agree.
you know. So I mean, last thing, I mean, who are young musicians out there, especially young live musicians? Man, I heard a live kick drum, a live kick drum today for the first time in almost 2 years, a live performance, and I almost cried, boy. I just heard the song as they were song checking, and I hear it
Wow.
in a live setting. I was like, way, boy, it was emotional. I said, I
Wow.
forgot what that felt like in a live setting, what live music felt like and a live band felt like, you know?
Yeah.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, for live
Same.
musicians now at this moment, and especially live Trinidad rock musicians, what you have to say to them, anybody, a young musician right now at this moment.
Stay true to yourself and just stay true to yourself. Listen to your inner voice. Listen to your inner voice. And go for it.
Yeah, let the music lead you, you know. Be true to
Yes.
the music. Wherever it leading you, let it take you there, you know.
Yes. Yes.
Hi, Nigel. It's been a pleasure. Um, I love you. You know,
Love you, my brother.
brother, brother thing. I mean, this is it's long time. You know, and continue the excellent work and that kind of stuff. Tell the band
Thank
and
you, my
stuff
brother.
that we love the work that they're doing, and we big them up right through.
Thank you, brother.
They
Thank
always
you,
have a
and thanks
place
for
in
having
our
me, man.
hearts.
Thanks for having me, brother, and thanks for helping me to share the new music and everything else and planting seeds and you keep up the work that you've been doing long beyond the Indigenous Radio series, all the fantastic stuff that you've been doing, but not just local rock bands, but for artists in general and outstanding thespians and whatnot, oral tradition, and the general forward motion of the progressive outlook internationally for Trinidad and Tobago and our artists and our old generation and new generation. I don't want to say old, our past generation and our future generation. You know what I mean? So I don't want to do the Hallmark card thing and get too mushy, but really, really love you, bro. And appreciate very much what you do. And God bless you, right? And we have some music to do soon too.
Yeah, yeah,
Chantwell,
yeah, yeah,
20.
definitely.
20.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 2022. Have that album to
Right.
do. That is a promise. God's
We
willing.
got
Yeah,
Ian
man.
Joseph in there,
Nigel.
some guitars too, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Bless.
yeah. The full crew. Respect. Yeah, man. Pull it
All
up.
right, bro. Easy. That's it.
Yeah, man. That was, of course, Nigel Rojas, lead singer, songwriter of the band Orange Sky, formerly Orange Pale Grove, formerly Zandali, Blue Emperor, a whole set of Lucifix, all kinds of different bands and that kind of stuff. Um, and they've been a couple of the songs from that great album, Strange Days. And Klachi, when is the next
Yeah.
interview we have inside?
Yeah, next video interview is at 10 o'clock.
10. All right, Maz
Yeah.
Mike Wise, right?
Yes,
Okay,
likewise.
so let's hit. Let me play
I have
the
one more
first
in Sky
Mike Wise.
here. I have an
Yeah,
extra
one
song
more.
here.
Yeah, play the
Yeah.
last Orange Sky, and then we will come in with Mike Wise from his new album, Dirty Pages. But let's take in one last Orange Sky before we do that.
The dawn has come and sunlight peeks in through the window. It's time for me to leave. This ain't my first rodeo. The memories still echo through my bones from the night before. You pleasure me so sweetly, leaving me wanting more.
Yeah, man. The band Orange Sky taking us out there. Last track inside. And we now about to go into the interview in a little while with
Well,
the man Mike Weiss. Huh?
actually, it came in early. It,
Brilliant.
yes, so you want the payment
Yeah,
on
yeah,
time?
yeah.
Proceed.
Let me jump in right one time. But let me start off with that. Boy. We like early, we like to stop it early and stuff, Mike Wise. Mr. Dobson,
Hey,
boy.
yo, what's up? What's up?
Inside, man, repping for New York and stuff, yes. He can real
Woo!
hip hop. He
Yeah,
come to
man.
really rep the hip hop. He really repping hip hop and stuff inside. Yo, Mr. Dobson, how you going, sir?
What's good? What's good, sir? I like how I like how you. I mean, we talk about the Dobson last time. So
Yeah. As I said, one of the first
Yeah.
families of music in Trinidad and Tobago. Big that up all the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
hear
Yeah.
rapid the new album, Dirty Pages.
Of course. Of
And
course. Of course.
three tracks we're gonna listen to, and
Yeah.
you're gonna talk to us about what this album means for you and what these songs mean. So let's start off with the first track one time. Clutchy, hit us that, and let me dive into the music one time and like come back out and talk. People inside that like button.
Yeah. Share willpower.
Power.
You can't really quantify that. I don't think anybody can really quantify that. Wise, I don't measure and take for that shit. Fight down a Trini, what lunacy is speaking. Truthfully, it's news to me. Who could be defeating you? Assuming we've been sleeping, really moving me. I'm seething every obstacle in my way. Brutally, I'm beating rappers, proof to be misleading. Plenty youth is needing, leading. Even OGs cause the tomfoolery I'm seeing. Holy fly, young, I'm facing scrutiny for steep. Japanese, big sucky. Yeah. Share willpower. You can't really quantify. I don't think anybody can really quantify that. Wise, I don't measure and take for that shit. Fight down a Trini, what lunacy is speaking. Truthfully, it's news to me. Who could be defeating you? Assuming we've been sleeping, really moving me. I'm seething every obstacle in my way. Brutally, I'm beating rappers, proof to be misleading. Plenty youth is needing, leading. Even OGs cause the tomfoolery I'm seeing. Holy fly, y'all not facing scrutiny for stealing. Rappers biting real beasts. You should do it being vegan. Like a cricket game interrupted by a rain cloud. You're watering the game down. Refuse to be a reason for that to continue. No immunity I'm seeking. We go have to evict you. Ruthlessly I'm treating the fools that be so stupidly confusing me with being lukewarm when I'm colder than my cooler, keeping Riesling over grooves. I be a demon before I'm 45. Sway in the morning is the only shade room I need to be in. Roof the gussing in TNT, we just make most noise. You can't hush we any day, no choice. We love bacchanal and me, baby, I don't afraid no loss, no fear. I go stay on course, straight animal. Peace. Trini man run the road still. They want tell me I's a madman. Till the house done build. Yeah. None of them go understand. That leap of faith can make me fall flat. I should be aware. Though life tires me out, no opportunities being spared. Wherever rap takes me, never keep a seated rare. Cause one throne ain't nothing to the people's chairs. I hope that's stuck forever. We stand up. Plus I don't want my fan base to stand up. It could leave you musically bankrupt. Millions were sold, but no brilliance was showed. Every track sucked. A stand's blindness to the truth can impair your vision. A fan keeps it a buck, cause they're air conditioned with a high taste level. If they didn't feel it, you could bet the message will be sent. I'll be quick to read it. Began writing as a youth, wishing to be the one. Remember I wasn't all that, but I was keen and young, desperate to make an impression. Sketching to pages and stressing. Every day was progression, not a speedy run. In TNT we just make most noise. You can't hush we any day, no choice. We love bacchanal and me, baby, I don't afraid no loss, no fear. I go stay on course, straight animal. Peace. Trini man run the road still. They want tell me I's a madman. Till the house done build. Yeah. None of them go understand the grand plan.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We have to start off. We have to start off with that one because to me that's like a creed, you know. That's your statement of intent. You know?
It's a statement. It's a statement. I make that song on behalf of all Trinidad artists.
And it feels like that. It feels like that.
It's on behalf of us. Whether what no matter what genre you're doing, it could be soca, calypso, hip hop, R&B, reggae, dancehall, whatever. You know, that's my whole thing.
Yeah, man. It feels like that. It feels from the heart. It feels like it. You know, tells our story. You know. So, Mike Weiss, talk to us about Dirty Pages. Where did that come from? Where did the story of Dirty Pages come from? The idea of that name, and talk to us about that.
Dirty Page. Well, Dirty Pages. My thing is like all of my projects, because I'm a person who likes to do I don't like to do singles. I like to do projects. I like to do albums. I like to do EPs. I like to do, bodies of work now, right? So in 2020, I did an album called Hate Six Hate, which is a play of which is a play off of 868, which is the code for
Code.
Trinidad, right? And then Hate Six Hate, and that was such a specific project in the sense of like that like everything I wrote about that was basically my depiction of Trinidad, basically. Not just my like what I felt Trinidad has been and what Trinidad is now. Basically, that's when I made Hate 68. And obviously that project was something that the songs that I would make for that had to be specific. So it had to be this one thing. And when I make in this one project, when I make in any one project, I need to sort of escape from that and make something that is like totally different from that. I need that escapism when I'm making music. Like I can't make one type of music all the time.
Right.
I when I say let me just say one type of music. I could like hip hop is my thing. It's not one type of music, but I can't do one theme all the time.
Yeah.
I need to in terms of theme wise, I need to like because I'm a multi-dimensional person. I feel different things on different days. I feel different things at different times. So Dirty Pages itself was something that was like it was separate from Hate 68 and it was just me being me because Hate 68 was basically social commentary. Dirty Pages is basically, me being me and me saying what I want to say.
Right.
Whether it's something personal, whether it's something political, whether I just want to have fun with like, rhyming words and having a bunch of metaphors in a song. That is
But
what Dirty Pages really
why
is.
Dirty Pages though? Why that name? What is that supposed to mean?
Dirty Pages came because ever since I started being a hip hop artist in Trinidad and Tobago, you always had, you had people who encourage you and who were, fans of what you're doing. But at the end of the day, being a rapper in Trinidad, you're going to have a lot of people who come against you.
The fight
Right?
dog.
Yeah, the thing is, before they even hear you rap, they just hear you rapping in Trinidad, and it's like, nah, that's never gonna work. They ain't even hear you rap yet. You understand? And I find there were a lot of people who used to look at us like me and my old team when we was coming up. Like people used to look at us and as soon as they hear we rapping, they used to look at us with a kind of way, like a kind of you used to feel dirty about it. They used to look at you like vagrants now, like music industry vagrants.
Wow.
That's what we used to feel. They used to look at like you could tell if somebody looking at you and like looking at you with a kind of disgust in their eyes, right?
Yeah, no.
You could tell if somebody, if when somebody look at you and
We just get plenty as artists
exactly.
and as activists and stuff. We know it.
Yeah. I know.
Get plenty.
Yeah. So like my whole thing, I always used to like from we talking 10 years ago and thing, right? That's how old I is. Like people used to watch me and be like, I used to feel this kind of dirty feeling, like people looking at me like I dirty, looking at us like we dirty. So
Right.
I always had that in the back of my head, and coming up with these songs is like, yeah, Dirty Pages, like the pages we write on, the pages dirty. If we was writing happy music, I don't want to like be in a whole thing with different genres. But if he was writing more festive music, happy music,
Yeah. We know what.
you understand? They will say those pages clean, but because we write in rap, it's like the pages dirty, so Dirty Pages. That's where that came from. Yeah.
let's take in another song and let's come back out and talk some more. Mike Wise in the house inside Indigenous. If you're inside, hit that like button. Let us know how you feel. Hit them comments and stuff on the YouTube channel or on the live stream on the Facebook page. Let us know how you feel about this music,
Yeah,
about the
man.
interviews and that kind of stuff. Klachi, what's the WhatsApp voice note number?
Okay, so the WhatsApp number is 734-1067. That's 1-868-734-1067. I'll put it still post up on the screen. Yeah, straight across the bottom of the screen. So everybody can see.
Yeah,
So send out WhatsApp
sending
and
that note, sending a note to the artist, sending a note to us and stuff. And of course, we like the
yeah.
ladies.
And yes. And
We
if,
like
if
we
you're
like the
getting
ladies.
trouble, and
We
if you're
love
Not
the
getting trouble on the
ladies,
Facebook,
actually.
head to the
not
YouTube channel.
not
Yeah,
we
YouTube channel. I post the link in for YouTube channel
we
also.
don't want to get
Just in
we don't
case.
want
Yeah,
we
we don't want none
appreciate
about
everybody I think, but we don't want any more
yeah,
the men in drag voice notes and
yeah,
stuff. We
yeah.
we appreciate them. We
Yeah.
appreciate them.
But
Everybody appreciates it. But we but the girls, we want the Y
I,
chromosomes. We want the Y chromosomes.
I want the woman to
Yeah,
start,
we
send
want
the
the Y
voice notes
chromosomes
and the
inside. Right?
messages.
So
I
send
want
in the
that.
messages. Let Mike Wise know how you feel about him and his music and stuff. Let Klachi and me, let you loving Indigenous. This is the place for Trinidad and Tobago underground music. 10 years we doing this
Yes.
thing. This is week number 22 of this season. Almost 500 songs played, all non-festival Trinidad and Tobago music. Trinidad rock, reggae, hip hop, EDM,
All
jazz,
that.
you name it.
All
All of
that.
that styles here. For all them people who say, hey, we ain't had no, they don't have them other songs to play and thing. Just this season alone, new music, almost 500 songs. So what we're talking about, fire burn them 36 other radio stations, fire burn your program managers, all of them
Yes.
fighting along Trinidad and Tobago genius and that kind of stuff, fire burn. We don't have nothing to deal with all and stuff. This is where it's at. Radio Toco Indigenous. Run the track.
Yeah,
Mike
man.
Wise.
Yo, here what I'm
So I'm
telling you.
telling
This advice not regular. Wise. Fix we don't stick. Yo, better make sure your business fix and don't stick. Wise. Dude, sit and be mute when my fuse literally boost. That flush did I rebuke, I do spit to recoup. Move quick to the loop, but don't think for a second. The blue bills is the roots and the be all and all of this music. This shit too, fuse stick to the truth. It's why the message getting the blue ticks from the youth. Too many stand out acts, try to fit in the group. This business, yo, we don't make no jokes. Bosses sink real low just to sail those boats. Why I spit this slow to educate those folks. Easy to miss info, not the radio hosts. Cause this ain't a great place to get news. These crooked heads with a straight face, they bend rules to eat a food that has come with a price, and that's very apparent by the schemes these men use.
If you mind your business, me say do your own business. Go to school, learn, figure manage for your business. This your business, don't make it more business. You don't have money if your royalty and your business. Now every contract what they bring that you feel them, but if your royalty not a send them go give you. Not a hit song just so them go leo. And no pretty girl on the road them no free.
In this industry, most folks doubting scenes. One hit, you know how many a mouth it feeds. I'm grossed out from greed, there's a whole drought it seems. For the almighty dollar, these folks know is fiends. Whole town is thieves, so low down for cheese. As you go around the game, all I know about the schemes. Like a label as big as Atlantic, named after an ocean. Taking the most out your streams. Them deals I be raising the rugs, it's looking great for your bud. That's the hole that the label has dug. Got your face in the mud, cause though you worked on bars, it's a bad liquor license, they taking your pub. You won't get out, you sell out, cause fame is your drug. Fiending to stay current and the game is your plug. Industry tailor-made for the smartest men to fill their bellies, exploiting the artist.
If you mind your business, me say do your own business. Go to school, learn, figure manage for your business. This your business, don't make it more business. You don't have money if your royalty and your business. Now every contract what they bring that you feel them, but if your royalty not a send them go give you. Not a hit song just so them go leo. And no pretty girl on the road them no free.
Yeah, man. So who's that on that track with you?
General Grant.
Pop, pop.
The shot call.
Yeah, the immortal
The shot
General
call.
Grant by Granty
The shot call. The
Granty
shot call. Yeah.
in the fourth decade of his career, boy. I mean, that
Yeah.
Granty continuing
Yeah.
doing it
It's actually fourth
right
decade.
through.
Yeah. This is the fourth
Yeah,
decade when you really
serious
think
things.
about it. Yeah, as I, you know,
Yeah.
that was a nice meetup though. That was a nice meetup because, the first time I met him, I was leaving the studio I work at. You know, he was doing some.
I like that collab and
Yeah.
stuff. How that came about?
Right. So the first time we link up was he was doing some work in his studio I work out of, right? And he was leaving the studio. No, he was coming into the studio. I was leaving. I now finished. And the person who runs the studio, big up to Joe Black, big up to Southside Lifestyle. He had already played music of mine to him, so he was already interested in working with me. Right? You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Oh, all right, good. Yeah. Right. So Grant heard music of mine and he was already interested in working with me. He told me that as I was leaving and he was coming in. This is very early 2020. So after that happened, guess what happened? COVID happened. So nobody was going in the studio at all. Because this is the you know, COVID brand new, and it's like ain't nobody trying to like, you know, be outside or do anything. So everybody was just kind of home.
Nobody wants to be a statistic.
Yeah, because everything was so brand new too. You know, it was like, you know, we just chill home. But when about a few months, or 2 to 3 months after, when you would say Trinidad had COVID under control, I started to go back to the studio, started to work on certain things. Yeah. I was there, I was working on something in the studio, and then I guess Grant came. Grant was there, and Joe Black just kind of pulled the door and was like, yo, I know you and Grant supposed to work on something. He's here right now. If you have something, do your thing.
Now is the time.
So,
excellent.
Now is the time. Yeah. And he was like, well, he will always come back, but if you want to do something tonight, now is the time. I was like, and I had that song, the same song that we play now, Business. I was like, I didn't record it yet though. I just had the lyrics written. I had the beat. I was like, I didn't even plan to put him on the song, but I knew I wanted that type of chorus on the song. So I was like, you know what? Let me lay down. Let me pull the beats up, record my verses, and if it makes sense, I'll just call him in one time. Did the verses, call him in, and that's where we go. Now, the thing is, about a month after that, I had a song for, again, the 2020 album, Hate 6 Hate. Right. He did a chorus for that. So the thing is, we had Business from like long before. And then we had Sirens. We have a song called Sirens, which ended up on Hate 6 Hate. That was our second song we did together, but as the first song that came out. So Business, in terms of releasing, Business is the second song we have released, but it's the first song we ever did.
Nicely. Yeah, man.
One thing about Grant, like the vibes in studio with General Grant is vibes. And he's a person, he likes to work with, I realize he likes to work with upcoming talent, and if he feel your vibes, he wants to work with you. He don't really watch face, something like that, you know.
Right. Yeah, it's good when you have some, I want to say elder But yeah, I mean, I'm 4 decades into it and stuff.
No, he's
And
an elder. No, he's a proper elder. He's a proper
yeah.
legend, a proper
So
elder.
I
And
get three
we need to
times
celebrate General
Billboard
Grant.
chart,
Yeah.
3 time Billboard charts. You know, I mean,
Yeah,
he
yeah, with
been there, done that.
Tony, and yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
like he's
done
a
that.
legend. He's a legend. He's a
Serious.
He's a Trinidad and Tobago music legend. I would say legend.
You know, from the roots and stuff,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And always
Legend.
stay true to the roots and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we here for music. Let me take in our next track, and then we come back out, that kind of stuff. Hit
Yeah.
me, DJ.
I could only record this because current come back, to be honest with you. I was gonna get us in one take, but yeah. Ever felt your potential, left you ponder this question every time my head would stretch for and my pencil sketched her in line, but I still find ways to be inspired and wreck and melt a microphone, or from it will I get dementia. Imagine when I brainstorm, I met some shelter. They say the music biz such a stressful venture. Truthfully, I had some very helpful friends to navigate me on a path, get me centered. Full of shame, what I did instead go vex ya and ascend your pressure. Vex the pelt, a big stone my way. No cubes, just know that I stray. Looking for the next bottle, next sex adventure. Fling so much paper without the extra. Waste so much time, but my talents, it never left yet. Peep the message, what the hell that tells ya? Wise.
Don't fight it, cause we like this after all. And when the end of the day falls, we like it, so we answer the call. So don't fight this.
The appeal of self-destruction, swimming pool full of liquor, Mike Phelps with punching, finish it in one go. What's the sense of punching? Hungover next morning like this helps with nothing. My close circle, they wanna see stardom take me. I'm thinking that's a place gonna be far from safety. Would it be hard to save me if I'm far gone, drugged up like Armstrong? These sentiments I harbor lately. Imagine after ignoring my demons, they running loose. One-way trip to a long sleep that is drug-induced. Writing this not paranoid from weed, but from rum and juice. I wanna be at peace, but not sure if I trust the truth. Alternative is war for me, not the type that's all gory or for glory. Remembering my pops on his tour story, small taste of fame, had him hanging off the deep end. I see that in myself, I can't pretend.
Don't fight it, cause we like this after all. And when the end of the day falls, we like it, so we answer the call. So don't fight this, cause we like this after all. And when the end of the day comes, the day falls, we answer the call. Whoa. The call. So don't fight this.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's golden age hip hop style right there. I mean, that's inside the pocket. Everything.
The vocal from John Square was mad. You
Hey.
must admit the vocals was mad.
Who vocals is that? Who is we here listening?
That's John Squared, artist formerly known as John.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
We all know John.
Squared.
Big up John.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Looking side. With what Trinidad's, you could say Trinidad's top R&B artists in terms of modern R&B.
Yes. I agree. I'm glad you say that. I agree. And he was last minute too. He was last minute. He was like, Yo, the album coming out, the whole of me scraping with this because me and him had to do that song.
push. Nobody else could do that song.
No, I said no. Me and him.
Nobody else could do that song.
Yeah.
Nobody else could do it. That was had to be
planned. We planned to do that song, but he had some like things going on at the time, so we had to kind of delay it.
Right.
But when he saw the album was coming out, he was able to like get things in order, and you know, he had a certain situation where he could have recorded, and we got it done last minute. So I'm very glad for that. Me and him, him and I have a EP together called White Squid. Yeah.
Well, send us them tracks now. I mean, I would love to, I don't think we have those tracks and stuff. We'd love to play those things.
Yeah, I've real things to send
anything that you.
I've real things to send to
you. Send thing. You know what I mean? We playing everything and we giving you the big up forwards and stuff because that's what we do here on Indigenous every single Thursday 9 to 11 here on Radio Toko. Big up Clutchy. Big up Keronex, big up Andre Williams, big up Toko Foundation, big up Radio Toko, big up the spirit of Michael Alves, who set up the Toko Foundation, rest in peace, Elder, big up Sheldon Manu, who helped form Indigenous with me, Artist Coalition on Trinidad and Tobago, all the board members, is the lineage of the thing, is how the thing moves and how it goes and stuff, and we have to pay tribute to all those around us and the support system and stuff. Talk about the production on that track. Who produced that track? That track, I really like the vibes and stuff. Who produced that track?
That was a homie out in New York called Homage. That was this is the third time I've worked with him. In terms of like releasing stuff with him, this is the third time I've worked with him. And yeah, my style is kind of the more golden era hip hop. I hate to even classify it as golden era hip hop. To me, it's just hip hop.
Yeah, but we know it's certainly not the trap mumble. It's not the mumblecore trap hop.
It's something different than the mainstream hip hop of today.
It is the mainstream hip hop of yesterday, not that New York style. That flex and that kind of stuff when lyrics mattered, and when lyrics mattered and flow mattered and them kind of things,
it's something different. So that's one of those beats where when I heard it, I was like, yeah, this is something I need to get on. And had the verses done for a while, and then eventually I got John on the hook, and when I heard him on it, I was like, yeah, time to put this out.
Yeah. When we concur, we agree. Hey, Mike, so any final things you want to say to your fans out there, to your new fans, and that kind of stuff, as regards your music, Dirty Pages, where they could hit you up, where they could get the album, where they get the music, how they could support you and that kind of stuff. Let them know. Talk to your people.
Well, if you're a new fan, I would say there's a lot of music to catch up to. All my social medias on Instagram and Twitter are MikeWise88. So MICWISE 88. You can you could just go from there and find yourself to all the music. If you want to just explore all the music I have, because I will say for me as a fan of music, I like to discover new artists and just explore, just go through projects and go through albums and this kind of thing. So if you want to do that, if you're a new fan, feel free. If you want to just listen to one or two songs and that is it, cool. That is it too. So yeah, my two latest projects are Dirty Pages and also I would say the deluxe version of Dirty Pages, which is 9 more songs that I released. It's going to be on streaming platforms 31st of December. It's actually now out on Bandcamp again. Might sound confusing, but if you go to my social media, everything will direct you to where you want to go, right? So we have Dirty Pages, we have Dirty Pages More Dirt,
All right.
which is the 9 new songs, and I'm a person, I'm always working on music and working on new things. So, a lot of new music to come next year, 2022.
Brilliant. All
That's
right.
all I
Well,
do. Yeah.
hey, Mike Wise. Hey, thanks again for popping in with us, taking this time,
Mhm.
and just to ground with
Yeah,
us
man.
and let us hear some of the new music and that kind of
Of
thing, and letting
course.
people know how they could vibes and that kind of thing. We really
Yeah.
appreciate the work that you put into it. And again, it's an incredible thing that COVID, COVID has decimated the performing arts in Trinidad and Tobago, especially all of the world, but especially in
Hmm.
Trinidad, where governments and stuff has absolutely nothing for the
Hmm.
sector
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. Yet still, some of the baddest music in a while internationally is Trinidad and Tobago artists dropping albums after albums after albums of. I mean,
Yeah.
just
We will always
in
be
this
we will always be
last
ourselves no matter what. We will always be creative.
couple months here,
Yeah.
brilliant. So being inside
Hmm.
the studio, doing the work, doing doing the work and putting out there after the radio stations who refuse to pay most of the stuff and that kind of thing. But
Hmm.
hey, fire burn them. We do what we're
Hmm.
supposed to do.
Hmm.
Trinidad Jesus music, you're hearing it here on Radio Toko 106.7
Hmm.
and inside Indigenous every Tuesday 9 to 11. This is your home for Trinidad and Tobago underground music. We mainstream the local underground and globalize Trinbago song. And that's what we're doing right now in the house with us, saying goodbye. Hey, is the presence, man. Over and out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. Respect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Clutchy. Yeah, man. That was real cool, man. Some real bad music there from Mike Wise, Trinidad and Tobago hip hop was in the house and that kind of stuff. So what we have next, Clutchy? What
Well,
going
we
on?
have we have a next genius in the studio. Well, I ain't bring him on screen yet. I mean, um,
He
full
here though. He
extreme.
right. He
Hey,
inside.
right there, full extreme. I think still for me, soca tracks full extreme is still like, yo, yo.
Yeah.
I ain't wasting
Complete
no
utter
time.
destruction.
Yeah,
Complete utter destruction.
I ain't even wasting none of his time again. I'm bringing them on. Hey, Mr.
Po
MX
po
Pro.
po! Yo! The big man MX
Yep.
Prime.
Your mic is still
Ignacio.
muted.
Sorry about that.
Yeah,
Sorry about
man.
that.
Yeah.
Doing multiple things at a time, you know.
The voice, what?
How things?
Hey, yeah, we know it. Hey, we good. We good. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Just working, just trying to stay creative and positive, no matter what. You know. I know you could say the same.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, our job, God sent us to do that, so we doing what God sent us to do. I mean, other people have to do what
True
they
that.
have to do. God sent us here to
Mm-hmm.
create, and we doing what we're supposed to do. You
All
know.
the time. All the time.
Hey,
So
MX. Hey, you dropped Exit, incredible friggin' album. You came on the
thank you.
program, you debuted 2 tracks and that kind of stuff, and of course the album was in the Grammy shortlist and stuff. It didn't get
Yep.
it didn't get pulling into the last rung or the last list and stuff. And I listened to some of the albums there. I listened to some of the things. I say, okay, let me see what really, and I find.
Keep
Mm,
quiet, bro.
yeah, but I big that album. I big your album. I find your album could safely have been on the Grammy shortlist of the songs, and it could have been on possibly the global album too, because I listened to the thing and we know it was mostly,
Yeah.
it was all Afrobeat stuff and that kind of thing, because Afrobeat, well, they lock in that the international, them and
Exactly.
K-pop is what as far as the mainstream industry concerned, that's the rest of the world. The rest of the world consists of
Yep.
K-pop and Afrobeat right now. But I think we're on the brink of breaking that. And I think that some of those albums and artists who were in that shortlist is from Gary Hector, yourself, Nyla, the whole crew and that kind of stuff. And some of the stuff that we've been listening to on this program and that kind of thing over the last, there are Trinis and stuff dropping albums in that pocket or in Sky, everybody, dropping
Yeah.
stuff in that pocket. And I feel it's only a matter of time, and it might be sooner rather than later, that that the world catches on to what we doing. And as I just
Exactly.
told Mike Wise, who was in the studio, some of the baddest albums I've heard in the last couple of years have been albums that Trinidadians have been dropping these last couple of months, despite the fight on and inside of COVID. It's amazing that people found the resources and just the craft to be able to craft.
Yeah.
People understand just to get our background vocals lock in. Laying over, like, 10 tracks and stuff of vocals and harmonies and that kind of stuff to get that precision and then mixing it down. That's just to get that bed of background vocals and that kind of stuff as one of our 60 something tracks of music that might be on any one track. The dedication that people have to do that inside of COVID and inside Trinidad and Tobago fight down and still produce diamonds is an amazing thing. So I want to big up you and all those who have released
Yeah.
music in these last couple of months, despite that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I mean, amazing. And then to be on the Grammy short, So, talk to me about the last time you came in here, the album, you just put out the album. And so that was about about 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So that, and they had the Grammy thing and that kind of stuff. And I know you're always bubbling internationally. You have relationships with international DJs and producers and that kind of stuff. What has happened with the relation to it and that kind of stuff? What's been going on?
Well, you're a little bit spotty in terms of the internet, so I didn't hear the last part of the question. So could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, so what has been going on in these last 2 months in terms of you and the album? I know you know a lot of producers, DJs, different kind of people outside there. What has been going on with you and the album and the music since you first dropped the album?
Well, since then, the album has been doing cool in terms of the streaming aspect. A lot of people say keep pushing the album for the next 4, 5, 6 months, because at the end of the day, it is yours, one, and from the business aspect, it's the most recent collection of work. So from a reference standpoint, if people ask if you have any brand new music, you could say, well, I had an album I released 6 months ago, 2 weeks ago, yesterday, and people can more or less go and listen to that as a point of reference as to where you are as an artist, because dropping a couple singles here and there does not tell the story of an artist's feel, for what they want to represent, who or in the way they wish to represent. So for me, that album was something that I had to do. It was an assignment that I was given, and I said, okay, it's going to take me a year to get it done. I got it done. I got it out. And, for the purpose of, let's say, there may be songs on it that might get placed in a commercial, in a movie. If, myself as a brand or a collective with Ultimate Rejects, if we have some meetings with people on the music, they could say, okay, what is your most recent work? And we could point it out from the aspect of who is the producer, who is the arrangers, because a lot of people kind of look at me as one thing. They only see me as the artist. But the reason why I'm sitting down in this room here is because for the entire day I was mixing a song. So that part of it, you know, must be respected, and I must be able to push that part because I don't want to be seen at the end of my career as a performing artist. I want to be seen as, you know, all things music, because I can mix records, I can master records, I can produce and arrange records as well, right? That has been proven already, because the same Full Extreme that Krabby loves, it was me who started that creation in terms of the music, right? And 10 out of the 12 songs of the album I produced. So Welcome to the Carnival with Kerwin Dubois, I produced that as well. I produced and wrote the song. So there are so many tracks that I put out that I never really said to people, hey, I'm the producer of this track. I mixed it or I mastered it. I just felt that, you know, in time, you know, people would figure that out or find that out. But you can't give people time. They know what to do. It's up to you to say to the world that I am not just the regular one-trick pony that out there. You know, I do a lot of things.
And the sound of this album for you know, people who have gotten used to, who probably know, okay, if they knew Magadan and they knew the Raga Soca song, the full kind of reggae song and dub song, and then who might know you from the soca, and that kind of stuff and that kind of thing. And even though this is, I feel, is the new song of international pop, I feel that thing of Afrobeat, hip hop, dancehall, groovy soca, all them things kind of mix up is actually the sound of what modern pop going to sound like, global pop. But we can talk about it till we blue in the face. Let me listen to the thing and then come back out and stuff. Clutchy hit me the first prime there.
That's nice, man.
Everybody meet me by the pool. Me and the kitty, now you're by the pool. Assemble right now by the pool. Poolside, out with the hole is a new vibe. Hot ride, jet ride, must go mule on the top side.
Hey, yeah, Mike Matchai. Poolside with MX Prime, boy.
Assemble right now by the pool. Poolside, out with the hole is a new vibe. Hot ride, jet ride, must go mule on the top side. Harder the rock, harder the play. That's how we do it at the end of the day. Poolside, out with the hole is a new vibe. Everybody dance, alright. Everybody dance, hold tight. Everybody dance, have fun. Everybody dance, no guns. Every girl a dance, watch trouble. Every girl a dance, look bubble. Everybody dance, watch style. Everybody dance, the place gone wild. Celebrate the present, wave to the past. Ready for the future, raise up your glass. On a rooftop, even on the beach. Cruising 20,000 feet up. Is a finding anything we do. And I'm rising anything we do. No bad minding anything we do. Them can't put a foot in a whistle. Me at the poolside, out with the hole is a new vibe. Hot ride, jet ride, must go mule on the top side. Harder the work,
that's not Grammy worthy, I don't know what is. Inside. I know I'm telling you, man. Hey, who produced that one, Maximus? Who produced that one?
I did that record. I did that one. And I'll say this to you. That was the most challenging record for me to do on the album.
Yo.
Why?
Why?
I'll tell you why. Because I had to dig deep into my creative bag to put that music together. Because that music, you're hearing old school reggae, ska, you're hearing electronic music, you're hearing a little bit of dubstep, you're hearing a cornucopia of styles that all have to dwell in the same space and not fight one another for the most dominant sound. Right? I had to listen to the instrumental and put the right things in it so that it does not lose the listener. It actually carries the listener on, like one of them rides you go on Six Flags, or you go to Disneyland and you're on this ride, and this ride has elders and it has youngsters and have people of different ethnicity, and everybody holding hands. If it's a scary ride, everybody saying ooh and ah and laughing, and when it's done, everybody claps and everybody actually become friends in that moment. That's what this record was. That was the mission.
It worked. Is and is the album opener. It open it. It's like you bring people inside. You bring people inside your space. It's a real beautiful track. It's a real fun track, and that kind of stuff. I gotta dive. Let me go into more music one time and come back out in the next side. Clashy hits me on next track again. Let me enjoy the music from the album Exit, MX Prime.
Oh boy.
Hey mama, you're such a beautiful daughter. With your diamond smile, and me love your laughter. You say you coming over, feelings taking over. It's about time we take it a little further and stay the night till the morning. Nobody calling. And don't want you leave. Matter of fact, hold on to the keys. Precious like the morning breeze. You see the church, the wedding and the babies. My favorite thing about you is you. There ain't no doubt about you. That's true. My favorite thing about you is you. There ain't no doubt about you. That's true. You got me every damn time you want me looking at the clock. Food done cook, drinks in stock. Tonight me and them on the instant lock. Like Federer and Missy game set match. Two are we together at the same time. Shoot me shot like Lillard in a damn time. Just wanna look into your eyes. Me I get paralyzed, so stay the night till the morning. Nobody calling. Don't want you leave. Matter of fact, duplicate them keys. Precious like the morning breeze. Full of tenderness, full of quality. My favorite thing about you is you. There ain't no doubt about you. That's true. My favorite thing to style and style. You are my destiny. Realize, stay the night till the morning. No one, nobody calling. And go over your league. What the fuck, hold on to the keys. Precious like the morning breeze. You see the church, the wedding and the babies. My favorite thing about you is you. There ain't no doubt about you, that's true. My favorite thing about you is you. There ain't no doubt about you, that's true. My favorite thing about you is you. There ain't no doubt about you, that's true. My favorite thing about you is you. There ain't no doubt about you, that's true.
Yo. Yeah, man. That's what we're talking about. Every different style that we get in is not just, you know what I mean, is the party songs, is the love tracks, is
Yep.
the full gamut, right? It's
Yeah,
not one
man.
dimension, it's all 3 dimensions, it's in them 4 dimensions, 5 dimensions.
Yes, man. Yes, man. And that's what this whole creation was about. This album was about getting the songs out that I really needed to get out. You know, it's like you have something built up. It's like a volcano about to erupt. And it just, you know, it just rumbling. So for a whole, let's say for the past 10, 15 years, all this work, you know, just been inside, you know, and I've been
Yeah.
trying to, you know, sometimes tell my peers, hey, I have some music to do that I know may not please the, you know, the regular audience, the regular fan base, because they know me, or I've become popular for a certain brand of music at a certain time, but
Yeah.
I'm getting older, and you know, time is short, and you know, at the end of the day, creators create. It's like Steph Curry, one of the greatest shooters of all time. He goes out there. If he makes, he makes. If he misses, he misses. But the next game, he back out there shooting again. You know, he has to play his
Yeah.
game. And
Take your
and for
shot.
me, that's what it is. For me, is, you know, if I am a creative person, I sit down here in this room, and if I build a beat and it sounds like a soca, I'm not going to turn it into a dancehall, because I like to honor the creative process, right? If it's this is what you're going to get. If this sounds like a reggae track, I'm not going to turn it into something else because I am swayed, or somebody's telling me, hey, all you could do is this brand of music. That would be unfair to the creation, right? So for me, I needed to put together this collection of music, get it out, let people understand that life and music is a journey, right? And not every day you will be singing a happy song. Not every day you'll be singing a vex song. Not every day you'll be singing an upbeat song, you know? So there's so many different moods on this album for people to capture, for people to go through from 1 to 12, to be inspired, to laugh, to dance, you know, to share a moment with a loved one, you know. So that's what the music is about for me. This album is about that. So for all who have streamed the album, thank you very much for your continued support.
Yeah, man. Hey. So MX, what's next? Where you see, you know, I mean, it's not fair to me to even ask that question, because you just dropped a serious album with nothing, and it didn't even start to do its work yet in the world,
True.
you know.
True.
But I'm still asking, because I
What's
know how it
next?
is go. What is next? Where you hearing?
Ooh. Well, I started working on the next project one time, you know. That's what's happening with me. I started to work on another project one time, and still within all that, trying to get that project together is all about still putting forward a couple things for the so-called season so that people feel our presence as creatives, as contributors. So that is where it's at for me right now. But I am already working on another project.
Over there. Hello. That's a dreadful
Yeah,
frame though.
all like the internet giving trouble.
Yeah. All right. So let me see. I think he coming back in. Yeah, look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
me.
he
I'm
coming
helping
back.
my mother.
Look at me.
I was helping my mother come down the stairs there.
Most
Like
important, my brother. Most important,
yeah,
brother. Help mama.
so yeah,
Yeah,
and
man.
so yeah, so next, talk to me.
Next, well, as I said, I am working on a new project already. I already started put the groundwork in as to where the direction is going to be, what type of songs. There were some other ideas I had while I was doing Exit that couldn't fit on the album based on time constraints and vibe constraints as well. Sometimes, it's all about what will work with this collection of music, and those songs may not have been the right fit, and I didn't have the time to really and truly put it in perspective. So I said, music is a thing that you could have ideas for 10 years and then access that idea, and you know what? It shoots and it goes. So
Yeah,
for me, that's what it's about, working on getting another project on stream.
nice.
But as I was saying, I'm still putting a couple contributions out for the so-called season
Right, right.
because as creatives, we always have to honor our heritage and our culture in some sort of way. So that is basically what it is.
Boy, MX, that track that you had dropped, well, you had dropped three, yeah, but that, the one I'm talking about, the one that mash up that the in your living room in your, that is still
Oh, Martin
the
King.
that is still the COVID, that is still the COVID song, that
Well,
is still,
listen to
they
them.
have no other song that even come close outer
Well,
internationally.
bro, there's a lady who messages me time and time again. She's a Zumba instructor. I don't know if she's from, I think she's from Peru or one of those South American countries. And she actually tagged me a couple days ago in a big gymnasium doing a Zumba class, and Mad City was the song that she always either opens or closes with. And she said, "You do not understand what you have done with this song." And this
No,
is
but
a song, hear the story. Last year around this time, I was going in my bed, let's say around 3 in the morning, and I said, you know what? You have a beat that you built last year that you tried to get a song for it, but the song wasn't the right fit. So just listen to the beat. And the other part of my shoulder telling me, whether angel or demon or pro or con telling me, boy, better you go and sleep, And then I hear, while you sleeping, somebody else is working. And I sat back down and back on the computer and listened to that beat. And Mad City came in about 15 minutes. The next
yeah,
morning, I
yeah.
sang down the entire song.
Yeah. That's how when it ready to come and it say, "Hey, wake up!" like you better had wake up, and because
Yeah,
the channel open and bursting, waiting for that wipe
yeah,
that thing to come through that
yeah.
pipeline, and you have to be ready. You have to be ready. You have to be
Yeah.
ready.
It's
Hey,
like it's like
and
last night. It's like last night too. I was ready to go to bed, and my wife started painting in the kitchen. And this is after 12 minutes to one, she started painting. So I say, okay. She said, well, just stay up for half an hour. I already shut down the computer. I put back on the computer and I started to build a beat. And the beat came out like fire out of nowhere. So You just don't know. The inspiration might come while you're tired or while you're not feeling to work. Or they say when you're not feeling to work and you actually work and come up with something brilliant, that was a test that you just passed.
All right. Hey, MX Maximus, hey, we could talk. We could talk for hours, right? We we could talk for hours. But the people out there, we have 2 hours for the show, and we have yet another genius inside the house, young genius. We have Jesse Ryan, who jazz album Bridges was just on top 25 jazz albums and that kind of stuff with jazz FM and that kind of stuff. Hey, whoa, hey boy,
what's up?
Side on both sides, boy. On both sides. Hey, that's how we like to drop it. Somebody take a picture of that frame right there, because that frame.
Make sure I'm coming.
That frame don't happen often. That frame, that kind of frame, that's serious. That's royalty on both sides there. Hey, MX, hey, you could line if you want, but I know you want to mix down. I know you want to finish mix down when you
know. Jesse, pleasure meeting you, man. Enjoy the interview. And congrats on the album, right?
Thank you so much, man. Blessings.
Blessings.
Boy, MX taking, if you ain't hear it yet, taking Bridges, boy. Jesse real get on. He real get on. You'll hear a couple of the tracks now. We're gonna drop that now.
No problem.
Hey, thanks again, MX. Respect.
Keep going.
Yeah, man. Jesse, boy.
What's going on?
Yeah. Hey, Bridges, boy. Hey, boy, you're real get on, boy.
Thank you, man.
You're real get on. That's people. You're talking about a mature jazz album that sound like a man who in the game for like a 20, 30 years, and this is album number 22 or something like that. Jesse drop a album there that is inside the pocket. And the thing is about a lot of the musicians, especially that we had on the show right now, who've been Trinidad musicians, who've been Trinbago musicians, who've been dropping music and stuff.
Yeah.
All of them are hitting the golden age song of the style that they're in. So Mike Wise, he hitting golden age hip hop styles, Orange Sky, Nigel and them hitting golden age rock kind of styles and stuff, MX kind of hitting that golden age hip, like Afrobeat, golden age hip hop, and dancehall and styles, and you hitting golden age jazz. This is serious. It's bebop inside the pocket. It's how modern jazz is modern jazz, and it's it's production style and that kind of stuff. But the values are, it's classic kind of bebop values and that kind of stuff.
Mixed with Afro-Caribbean inspiration and traditions.
So hey, we have an intro for one of the songs.
All right.
So play that intro, Clutchy, so that people could just get vibes of where we going and where we taking this. Clutchy. Any second now, Clutchy. Tambre Music, big up to Big Go inside the mix with straight ahead jazz and that kind of stuff. So hey, talk to us, Jesse, about the inspiration for this, and then we'll jump into the track where that song is from, and explain to me what that mean, what the So talk to us about that track.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thanks for the opportunity to be on here, man. I've known you and your work for a long time, so it's a pleasure to be on here having this conversation with you. So the album Bridges, is sort of all of the songs from this season of my life. I went through a long journey to get here. You know, when I fell in love with jazz around the age of 14, 15, I knew that I wanted to be a jazz musician. I didn't necessarily have access to all the resources right away. And so I pursued going to school in the US for a bit, and I was back home. And then through all that process, I started to compose and write and perform right at home, you know. So I started performing with my band, you know, in Trinidad. So that's kind of where it began. And some of the material or the inspiration for some of the material happened in that period of time when I was back home.
Right.
So you were first at Berkeley.
Yes.
And you were in Canada, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah. So I went to Berkeley, Boston, came back home. I was here back home for 3 years, and then I moved to Toronto, Canada, to finish up my degree, and really to be in a city that had a vibrant music culture and specifically jazz culture. So when I was here, my very first winter in Canada, I had this moment where I was listening to a Kenny Garrett, which is a saxophone player from the US, his album, and he was playing, the song was called Lago. But when I listen to the song, I'm hearing the melody of We Are the World, Michael Jackson. And so that's something that jazz musicians would do sometimes. They would take a song, they would cover it and change the name so that they could kind of get away with it. I think that's why they used to do it, at least back in the day. They can get away with royalty stuff. Anyway, so I had this moment where I was like, here is a jazz musician playing a pop musician's tune, and I'm really enjoying the moment. And here I am, a Trinidadian on Canadian soil. And the thing that was bringing all of those things together was good music. So, you know, I don't know if you can see the T-shirt.
Yeah. Good music is always...
It's always a bridge. You know, it's always connecting different things, you know. It's really a cross-cultural passport. So the album itself, I had in that moment, I thought, that's when the term bridges came up. And I was already writing the music, and so that kind of became the focal point of bridging my love for modern jazz, or the jazz tradition, with some of more my heritage. Now, my connection to tambourine music was sort of a roundabout one. So I was introduced to plena music, which is from Puerto Rico, through one of my favorite saxophone players called Miguel Zenon. And plena music is a very similar tradition of frame drums that you play with your hand, dancing, singing, etc. And so I fell in love with that album. When I researched, it's like, wait, plena music, there's a similar style of drumming and dancing on the island of Grenada, which is where my grandfather, the Mighty Bomber, is from. And then when I researched that, I was like, but wait, this thing exists on Tobago too. And so I started to research, and I really fell in love with tambourine music, man. It's such a beautiful art form. The drumming, the dancing. I think a lot of people don't know a lot about the tradition. And there's like a couple family groups left in Tobago that still keep the music alive. But I know that it's amazing music. Yeah, exactly.
It's music, 9 nights kind of music. Is music for the traveling of the spirit across the life and all that kind of stuff. They have stories about people being able to walk on walls and walk on the roof and that kind of stuff when tambourine music and stuff playing and that kind of stuff, because it's such a powerful, the spirits that is moved with tambourine music so powerful and that kind of stuff. People be able to walk on walls and walk on ceilings and all kind of stuff with power and that.
I had the opportunity to spend a day with the Mount Culane Tambourine Band in 2019. When I was preparing the album, I bought up some drums, like some plainer drums. That was the closest thing I could get, because the tambourine drums, they're heated over fire to get the tuning right.
Yeah.
No, in North America, you can't do that. So I bought the closest thing, the plainer drum you can tune with a key. So that's why I bought it, and I was planning to record the tambourine drum myself. I had learned all the rhythms and all of that, and I was like, "There's no way I can do this album without actually going to the source."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I came back home, spent a day with them, and Man, that was an amazing day. And so Wax, who was Lawrence Fields, who was fiddler, he plays tambourine. He's just like a griot, in Tobago. He was talking about some of the spiritual significance of the music and all of that, So I really fell in love with the music. And yeah, there's another question you asked me. I want to make sure I'm touching on it as well. So we talked about Bridges, the album. Did you want me to talk about it?
It was about this song. And what is the name of the song? SOTS. What is SOTS?
Right. Yeah. So SOTS is an acronym for Sons of the Soil. So it's really a ode to some of my musical heroes from Trinidad in particular and across the Caribbean. So the Ralph Robertsons, the Michael Lauchi Tongs, the Clive Anders. Yeah. The people that I grew up listening to or hearing and seeing perform, that were the guys that were playing calypso jazz as we call it, and so that's what it's about. The song in particularly was inspired by my experience playing with the late Ralph Robertson. He had a particular way he would play chords, and so the melody is kind of mirroring some of that sort of ism, the Ralph-ism, So that's what the song is about. What we just listened to was the piano intro. Amazing.
Let's listen to the song itself.
Amazing.
Featuring the Macallan Tambourine Band from Tobago.
Yep.
Jesse Ryan, SOTS, Son of the Soil. Run the track, Bachi. Son of the soil. Hey, Jesse, crack shot team of musicians that you put together there, boy. I big up to your band.
Thank you, man.
Keyboardists,
Yeah,
big
yeah,
up
yeah.
everybody getting on. Your drummer, everybody, bass man. They had some guitar playing on another track there. I mean, everybody tight and inside, boy. And your horn playing is so mature, man. Your tone is like, I mean,
Thank
yeah,
you so
man.
much,
I mean,
man. Thank
yeah,
you, thank
yeah.
you.
So, I mean, talk about your band, how you got
Yeah,
them together.
sure.
Talk a bit about that.
Sure. Well, the band started during my 4th year of my undergraduate degree, and part of the program is that you have to do a recording project, and it's sort of at the end of the program you leave with this as sort of like a resume, like this is my work, and so I put the band together in preparation for that project, but then I also started to just kind of book gigs around Toronto. And so the band was friends from college, and the band configuration has changed over the years. I mean, we started back in 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. So we've been together for 6 years now. On the album, though, I want to mention those guys' names. So the drummer is actually a fellow Trinidadian, David Richards.
Nice.
He also migrated to Canada the same time that I did. The bass player is this Canadian bassist who lives between Canada and Nashville. His name is Mark Rogers. The piano player is amazing, good friend as well. His name is UN Fancombe. Young guy. I have 3 guitarists on the project actually. So Andrew Mazzuto, all from Canada. Lucian Gray and Sean Clary, who plays acoustic guitar. So they both play. They all play 2 songs on the album. And who else? Did I miss anybody? Of course, the Mount Culane Tambourine Band is on 3 tracks on the album. The opening track.
Yeah, the vocalist on here.
Did I forget Joanna Mojoko? Yeah, amazing vocalist. She's on 2 of the tracks, Zambian Offertory and The Way.
There's another horn player that does harmonies on one of those tracks with her, with the kind of Zambian thing there.
That's me. You? That's me. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. The voicings on those, that the horns is really nice, boy.
Thank you.
Really harmonies, real nice in that track.
Thank you, man.
Hey, let me just jump straight into the title track because it's so different than what we just heard in terms of feel and that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then we just come back out so people could actually hear the breadth of what you're doing, so, and the different textures. So Clutch, you play bridges, drop bridges there first. tight. Bridges, title track from the album Bridges by Jesse Ryan, former 2020 recipient of the Toronto Arts Foundation Emerging Jazz Artist Award. And inside the Indigenous here on Radio Toko, us every single Thursday, 9 to 11, we play Trinidad and Tobago's best music, the underground music of Trinidad and Tobago, every different style you could imagine, Trinidad and Tobago rock, R&B, reggae, hip-hop, rap, soul, fusion, jazz, world beat, you name it, we play it. The things that them other 36 radio stations refuse to play, we play that stuff here every single week. And in this, our 10th season, we on week 22, and about 500 tracks drop in that time. 500 tracks that you would never hear almost on them other places. And it's a crime against, it's a crime against the soul of the place and that kind of stuff that goes on. But we persevere and we do what we must, and we put out this stuff. And I mean, the idea that music like this is not a mainstream part of Trinidad and Tobago's life, that, like when genius tracks and records drop like this, and Gary Hector at National Trash, and MX Prime with Exit, and Orange Sky with Strange Days, and all these albums just drop tumbling out. I mean, all these different styles I call there. Not one of them is one genre of music. All these different genres of music and stuff. Mike Wise, the pages, and our country should be heralding like, hey, our next one of we boys or girls dropping genius stuff and that kind of thing, and celebrating it, and all the stations and everybody thing. And you heard that track from, you heard Jesse, you heard Nigel, you heard, what I mean, that's the country I want to live in.
Well, I mean, I want to jump in here, man. I think you're doing really important work because just earlier today, maybe it was yesterday, I was listening to this entire weekend, last couple of weeks, I've been really digging into Kitchener, just listening to all of his records. And when you listen to Kitchener, Sparrow, I mean, all of those guys that were creating music from, in 90s, right? The music is really genius. 1, 2, it was mainstream. 3, when you listen to the music is indistinct. The quality of the music, the musicianship, and the production quality is indistinguishable from what was happening in the US at that time. Right.
Especially like the golden age of the brass bands, brass band, Ed Bradley,
exactly,
Edwardson and the Brass Circle, and those guys, and that kind of stuff. Those bands were tight, man, and the sound and stuff was big. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You compare that horns to the New Orleans horns, or what's going on in Philadelphia and Stax, and I mean, you could have. I mean, people were doing it.
Absolutely, and it's
the hell happened.
I was reflecting on it because I was thinking that it was today. I was thinking to myself, there's so much of that music I don't want to say it's lost. I don't want to be that pessimistic, but there's so much of it that current generations they have no idea it exists. And I remember somebody making a joke a little while ago. They were talking about horn players from Trinidad in New York. And apparently some of the horn players that were from Trinidad, when they go to New York, certain players used to make fun of them because they couldn't play in tune. This is something that I heard along the way. And when the person told that to me, this was many years ago, the person made the joke. And I just kind of laughed it off and moved on. But when I was listening to those Kitchener records this week, I was like, what is this person talking about? Like, that's not our heritage. That's not our tradition, And our heritage is excellent musicianship when you listen to those recordings. And so
it's melody and harmony and stuff, I mean, it's like, I still say that Panorama drummers to me are the epitome of drummers on the planet in terms of, they have classical musician level in terms of tightness and stuff and hitting on the beat and that kind of stuff. They have jazz instrumentalist levels of playing and that kind of stuff, and they have groove and funk for days. I mean, and they have the ability to make you dance.
Right.
And so something about panorama drummers. There's so many different traditions inside the music where the virtues of those things are like huge. They're really, really big. And you just talk about the thing, like why is we have a University of Trinidad and Tobago? Why is there not a course on Kitchener?
Listen, man.
A degree program on Kitchener. When he died, Billboard magazine said the greatest writer of melody of the 20th century. You understand what I'm saying?
Listen,
the greatest writer of melody of the 20th century.
What you just said there, Larry, is that exact thought I had today. I said there needs to be a Calypso University where
we have a University of Trinidad and Tobago. That's what it's supposed to be about. That's what we fought for. It's the fight we fought to get them to indigenize the curriculum. Right. You're supposed to have a whole, I'm talking about a curriculum degree program that just studying panorama music, just studying arrangements of all the great arrangements and that kind of stuff. And you just have people just breaking that stuff down, going through them things and just studying them things like, well, Bradley used to do it this way. And this is how, like Xander is twisted and that kind of stuff. This one, Bugsy is twisted. It's like Jit do, whatever. And let's look, class, let's turn to Professor 19, whatever, and that kind of stuff. And people just going inside of that stuff for theory and breaking that stuff down. And same thing, the Kitchener is a curriculum in itself. I mean, Kitchener's hundreds of songs, at the highest level of composition and that kind of stuff coming at you. And that's what we're supposed to be about. If we're not about it, who else on the planet going to be about that stuff, if not us?
I had the thought today because I am in the process of working on a couple of projects. All of them, with the exception of one, is really celebrating different folk forms from Trinidad. And the musician that I have the opportunity to work with here, well, I'll say it this way. To really honor the music in the best possible way, I have to get very competent musicians. Because when you listen to Kitchener's records, those musicians were extremely competent. And so sometimes if I value the competency, sometimes I have to be a little bit more fluid with the cultural background of the actual musician, right? Now, that's a fact, but the reality is I also value continuity, preserving the traditions, not just in a museum-esque kind of way that we could just point it, but in a way that we could keep it alive, because there's a lot of value within that. I mean, when you hear, I'll say this way, I grew up in church, right? So there were some things I didn't get to taste until I got a little bit older.
Right.
And I remember the first time I went to a panorama, I was probably like around 18, 19. And that feeling that I got in the savannah, you can't describe that feeling. It's a feeling of...
It was religious.
It was a feeling of, oh, wow. Like, this is what it feels like to be a Trinidadian. It's a weird thing. You can't even put it in words. And so those experiences, those cultural experiences that we share together, there's so much in there that we have to try to keep that as, and we're gonna forget who we are as a people. Anyway, so going back to the point of the projects that I'm working on, I want to preserve the music, and I think there are two pieces missing. You're talking about the challenge with the university and indigenizing the curriculums and the programs and all that. There are two pieces missing. The first thing is, I believe, is we're not sure what we value as a people. What do we actually value? You know, and I think that's why I said I think you're doing important work here, because it's yes, we know calypso's on the radio stations, reggae is on the radio stations, and then of course music from the US, that's on the radio station. I think we need to have conversations, you know, at the government level, Ministry of Culture. What do we actually value as a people? And then let programs and funding trickle down.
Well, good luck with that. The ministry freeze, man, boy. Clashy, what going on there?
Well,
The ministry and them freeze. They freeze Jesse, boy.
Jesse get a dread freeze frame there, boy. Dread freeze frame. Yeah, boy. I know what go on there. I really don't know.
Yeah, boy, Jesse, the ministry and them tractor you might have to sign out and come back in again.
Yeah. Might have to.
Hey, people, as the censor Jesse boy, you're inside Indigenous, over time inside Indigenous, and we've been talking to Jesse Ryan, based in Canada. He's back with us, Jesse. All right, cool. Yeah, you were talking about the ministry and them before they seize you in a tractor beam there.
Well, yeah. So I really think that actually, let me make sure my headphones are in here. 1 second. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I'm hearing. Yes, we're hearing.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So values. You know, what do we actually value as a people? One, and then the second thing is actually having people who could communicate, so who could document and communicate the things that make us who we are, right? And so for me, that's my role, or at least part of the role that I see myself, you know, documenting this album, Bridges, that has Tambrin on it. That's a documentation, a snapshot in time of where Tambrin music is right now, and also what's possible with Tambrin music. Right. One of the other projects I'm working on is totally dedicated to Tambrin music. So every single track is going to start with the Tambrin rhythm being the inspiration, and of course the cultural context of the music. Working on another music that's dedicated to that's dedicated to calypso music. Calypso is part of our heritage, but also part of my family heritage, as my father, my great grandfather I mentioned earlier on. So
Obama.
Yeah. I think so. It's the conversations around what do we actually value as a people, and then having people that are willing to do the work to document and translate those things in a way that sometimes that could be, I guess, fit for sort of in a pedagogical way. Right, because I think that's the challenge too. There's a lot of people that are experts by experience, but they may not necessarily have the skills to communicate that within a classroom setting.
Yeah,
you know.
All right, hey Jesse, it's excellent talking with you. I mean, today's program has been really excellent, touching base with all of y'all who have been dropping these incredible albums. We wish you the best, with what you're doing, and it's great to know about those next projects are already in the works and that you're already exploring in that manner and that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna listen to Klachi just play that prelude to Right to Be Wrong. Just just drop that with us, and then we'll come out and just say a little goodbyes to Jesse and final words and that kind of stuff before we close up the program today.
If I stumble, will you offer me your hand? And if I fall, will you lend me your legs? If my soul drowns in darkness, will you cover me with light? And does your love grant me the right to be wrong? Will you stand with me through strife? Does your love cover? Yes, love covers. Love covers a multitude of wrong.
Love covers a multitude of wrong, boy.
That's a heavy
Yeah,
one.
that's a serious heavy one so in closing, just tell us what that song, that particular moment, what is
Yeah.
that about?
Yeah. Well, I wrote that song, and those words that you're hearing there, I wrote those words on a bus. The same week I came to Canada, and I was heading to the police station because I lost my passport. All right, and
Welcome, Canada.
lost passport, exactly, right? So the song in itself it came out of that period of time migrating to Canada. It was really challenging for me. I was already married. I got married a year before that. My wife is Trinidadian as well. And, in during research, there's three like really hard, top reasons why people get divorced: infidelity, financial problems, and the other one is migration. I didn't even know that. Right? And so it was a challenging period. And I wrote this song because love covers a multitude of wrong. And it was us making a choice to cover each other, and us making a choice to figure it out, and so that's what the song is about. It's about the nature of love, whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a parental relationship. Love covers a multitude of wrong. And the voice that you're hearing there is actually a fellow Trinidadian. Doesn't sound like it because he grew up in Canada, but he was born in Trinidad. His name is Brainerd Blyden Taylor. I met him here a couple of years ago in Canada, so that's the song.
Wow. Hey, Jesse, that sentiment, I think, is a real beautiful way to end the conversation with you. Don't be a stranger. We're
Yes,
going to
yes,
continue to
absolutely
play
not.
songs from this album, throughout the next couple of weeks and that kind of stuff. We're going to drop in and play some more tracks, let people hear the whole album and that kind of stuff as we continue throughout into 2022. And thanks so much, and congratulations on your top 25 Jazz FM
Thank you,
jazz
man.
album.
Thank you, man.
Top album, one of the top albums inside there. That's excellent work. It stands up. The album stands up to the scrutiny.
Appreciate it,
Really,
man.
really, it's a very mature sounding album, and and big up to this jazz moment. With yourself and Etienne,
Yeah.
and all the boys, all about the place and stuff. All the jazz boys, all about stuff, all about the place. Is really impressive what all of you all doing. And we're looking forward to hearing, all of the different albums dropping from everybody. All the Trini boys, all the Trini jazz boys all over the world who doing it and that kind of thing. And at some point in time, to hear that all-star band, the all-star Trini
Yes,
band,
sir.
like hitting, going at it and that kind of stuff,
Yeah,
And
man.
I would love to hear that album. I like to put together that album, to hear those songs and that kind of stuff. And we talked a little bit about pop music early on and jazz, and one of my pet peeves, and it's part of the journey of the music and that kind of stuff, the gentrification of the music and all those kinds of things that happen, the peroxiding of the music by white artists and all those, and white press and all those other kinds of things. But when jazz was popular music when it started out, jazz was, came after blues, and before pop, it was the popular music. It was dance
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
and it was popular music, and it played popular stuff when it was the popular stuff that people danced to, and then when early bebop, it would play pop.
Right.
They would take pop songs. There were songs that were in the consciousness of the
Yeah.
entire
Yep.
world, and reinvent them and those kinds of things. And then you
Absolutely.
would have stuff like what early Charlie Parker or late John Coltrane.
Yeah, the
My favorite
standards.
thing.
Yep.
Speaking those things and
Mhm.
and I would love. I mean, again, we know that the royalty stuff and all that other stuff makes it kind of real difficult in this day and age. But I would love to hear jazz artists and F everybody else. I'm talking about our Trini boys, girls, dive into global pop. I'm talking about good stuff. I mean, like not the kind of crap pop that perverts in the airways and people's brains and stuff. But the good stuff of the last 25 years or so. I mean, there's still, I mean, people diving into, everything from Nirvana and Radiohead to, to Babyface and even we boy who in prison now, like, R. Kelly, I mean, pop, I mean, and that kind of stuff, 80s music and that kind of stuff, really kind of going at those songs. I would love to hear, imagine those songs now reinterpreted with Trinidad rhythms, with jazz language on top of it, and that kind of thing. That I look forward to those kinds of experiments and those kinds of things that kind of, because I think that the thing that could make jazz relevant again are us who are on the fringe, who are coming to jazz again like it's new and like it's pop again, for us. And we are the ones who bringing that freshness and that kind of stuff that can bring it. And I just think it needs that extra step to kind of bring pop to it and it to pop. I wish that BT and the award programs would have a jazz artist. Just simple thing like that, because like one jazz artist on your stage, just so that black people remember, like, hey, that's ours. It still is ours. It still is relevant. It's still a form that that does magic. That this is where magic happens. And so I just throwing that out here. I know you have a hotel plate. But global pop.
Can I share something on that point?
Sure.
I think there's absolutely somebody, it may not be me, but there's somebody that's going to do that. But here's the thing, though. I've realized that popularity it can be it's a serious drug.
It has a double-edged sword, it is a double-edged sword.
It's a double-edged sword, and I think my journey, as I've matured throughout my journey, I'm beginning to realize that I'll say this way, I've been blessed to achieve some level of success, gotten some awards and so on, but none of those things, like for instance, I just had my son 9 days ago, right?
Hey, boy!
Yeah, man.
The miracle, boy. The miracle.
Exactly.
The miracle. Congratulations to you and your wife.
Thank you so much, man. He doesn't care that I'm on the 25 or top 25 jazz albums, right? And one of the reasons why I fell in love with my wife is that during that period of my time when I was in my teens, I had a bunch of, I was performing all the time, and I was accustomed to the woo. I was accustomed to that kind of giddy thing, and she was the opposite, And so those experiences have shaped my value system, in that I realized that the popularity is there for what it is. People are gonna do their thing, but should add value to my community and my family. That's what's most important. And so that translates into music as well, in that the thing that I am doing, I'm trying to add value to my community,
Right.
and make that relevant, because in 100 years, nobody's going to remember my name. So I'm just trying to add as much value as I can while I'm here. But at the same time, I'll balance that statement I just made by saying that no, in 100 years nobody will remember my name. But I'm also not underestimating the value of the contribution that I can make right now.
I will tell you that people are going to remember your name, right? And I will say that. And I will say it. And the thing is this. I mean, I'm not talking about popularity for popularity's sake. I am
Yeah.
talking about the magic that is jazz,
Mm.
and the fact that jazz is a gift to humanity that has been shelved away, and it's been stolen from Black people
Mhm.
and shelved away and put to one side, and it's only accessed by a precious few. But it remains a language and a way of being and a way of seeing that, and transportation that is valuable to the human spirit.
Right.
And it needs to be more mainstream, because it can transport people in ways that no other music can, right? And it has that power, I believe in all these forms of music, and they all have their lanes and that kind of stuff. And the language of jazz is a magical thing.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
it's too magical to be allowed to be imprisoned or to be exiled, And I feel that, I feel that it will take people like us and yourselves and that kind of stuff to move it back to its rightful place and regift it to the world.
Regifted. I
You
like
know?
that. I like that.
Yeah, regift it to the world, and so
Yeah.
that's it. That's it. And one of the ways I know that it can be done is that there's a global songbook of incredible music.
Yes. Yes.
That at one point in time, jazz used to enter into that songbook, even as it's dropping on the charts,
Yeah.
recontextualizing it immediately
Yes.
into
Yes.
its language, and
Mhm.
and taking it there, and people in their millions enjoying that transportation and reinterpretation and re-languaging and the cipher of it. And
Mhm.
that the gift of that cipher is the thing. And like a lot of you all doing, I hear those
Yeah.
possibilities.
Absolutely, man.
I
Absolutely.
hear those possibilities, and so I just throw that out there, and we need to, you can do with that
Allow it to
whatever you
cook.
will.
Yes. Yes.
you know. So, but hey, Jesse, thanks so much, man.
My pleasure, man.
On short notice, I just got the word that the album was inside the top 25, and
Mhm.
then I listened to it. I reached out to you and I listened to it, and it's like, nah, man, you had to be inside the program. Trinidad needs to hear the songs, and they need to hear you and connect face, person, music,
Yeah.
and the achievements and that kind of stuff. And so, congratulations again, strength to
Thank you,
strength.
man.
We're looking forward to
Thank you.
the new projects that you have going on. Big up your
Yeah.
band. Tell them that we love what they're doing. That they tight, keep together, because you all have something special. And yeah,
Thank you,
and
man. Thank you so much. One of
yeah, man.
my only regret with this album is that it was released in 2020 in the midst of the pandemic, so I wasn't able to bring the project home. So hopefully at
Right.
some point next year I can fix that. I'm not sure if that's possible. We'll see. If not 2022, 2023, definitely we have to bring it home. So thanks again for the opportunity to share it here.
Yeah, no problem, man, Jesse. Keep on the good work, and congratulations again on the birth of your son.
Thank you so much, man.
With your wife and stuff.
Yeah,
Keep
man.
strong. Keep safe, brother.
All right, man.
Respect.
Keep doing your work, man. Thanks. Blessings.
Respect. Thanks again.
Bye.
All right, man. You just heard Jesse Ryan and his, Jazz FM top 25 jazz album for 2021. Bridges, couple tracks from that here on Indigenous, your home for Trinidad and Tobago underground music. And we in the third hour. This is the third hour of the program. We're supposed to finish an hour ago. But you know how sometimes it has happened here. Poor Clutchy wife gonna beat him again. Sorry about that, Clutchy. Sorry that more licks. See how you celebrating the licks. So hey, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa to everybody out there from the whole Indigenous team. We love all of y'all, all those who kept on listening to us for this last hour and took in all the interviews and that kind of stuff. We had to give Genius its due. All the great albums and artists who we had inside here, starting off with Orange Sky, Nigel Rojas, Mike Wise, MX Prime, Sheldon Mendoza, starting off at the top of the program, Gary Hector, and of course Jesse Ryan. We just heard the. We're gonna close off the band from the album Exit from the Grammy shortlist time. Yeah, it's Christmas and all that kind of stuff and thing, but we ain't forgetting that it's warrior business that we on. Hunt them down. MX Prime, over and out. Thanks a lot for being inside Indigenous, your home for Trinidad and Tobago underground music, mainstreaming the Trinidad underground, Trinbago underground, and globalizing Trinbago's song. That's what we do here every Tuesday, 9 to 11. Sometimes. It's Prime.
Anytime I bust my dub, song boy run away. When we arrive, them cover, leave the place. Now respect better run, them violate. One song from the great next, some of them disappear without trace. Send them home, home. Send them home, home. Hear this, hunt them down. Shoulda never diss my sound. Hunt them down. Shoulda never diss my sound. Me never play some tune now for the real bad mind. Call up to them because them want get fame. Them woulda go watch you live envy words a crime. Blah, blah, blah. Bury in the first round. Real dog plate no how them mark and send them home. Send them home, home. Hear this, hunt them down. They shoulda never diss my sound. Hunt them down, shoulda never diss my sound. So there was some clash when they full of duck shots. Only one Lazarus. When you dead, nobody can bring you back. But you was some clash because you full of some shot. Mark to the real spot. Hurt one in the flesh get fat, fat, fat. Me no care where them. Japanese speak, Japanese suck.
Dreadness! Hunt them down, boy. Warrior business.
Anytime I bust my dub, song boy run away. When we arrive, them cover, leave the place. Now respect better run, them violate. One song from the great next, some of them disappear without trace. Send them home, home. Send them home, home. Hear this, hunt them down. They shoulda never So they want some clash. When they full of duck shots. Only one Lazarus. When you dead, nobody can't bring you back. Mom, but you want some clash. Because you're full of some chat. Mark the very hot spot. Hurt one me to flesh get fat. Me no care where them come from. Or where them come from. Dog plate in the dead. Me no care where them come from. Or where them come from. Them coulda bleed, them coulda dead. Me no care where them come from. Or where them come from. Them take off and fled. Me no care where them come from. Or where them come from. Hey boy, send them home, home. Send them home, home. Hear this, hunt them down. They shoulda never diss my sound. Hunt them down. Shoulda never diss my sound. We gonna send them home, home. Send them home, home. Hear this, hunt them down. They shoulda never diss my sound. Hunt them down. Shoulda never diss my sound.
Do the sweet song. Do the sweet song.
Do this at all. Do this. Right, so